As a lecturer in tourism, in travel and in event management, I speak to hundreds of people every week. As a motivational speaker, I speak to audiences as small as 10, right up to a few hundred. And when they ask me, how did you win all your awards? I always give the same answer. It's all about passion. Presenting with that feeling of passion, of belief, you can't go wrong. Which is why I got into the wedding business. It's your day. It's a special day. It's one of those milestones, and you will have many milestones in your journey, but this should be up there. So it's my role to facilitate that. I see it as my role to guide you, to help you through it. Plan the day if that's what you want. Plan the ceremony if that's what you want. I can help you write it, or I can use the words that you choose. As a writer, I do write for the newspaper and for magazines, so I can actually guide you through those steps. And we can pull together something that can be very magical. I'm here to help you.
So Jackie, whereabouts do you marry people?
I marry them just about anywhere. Whether we want a beach wedding, in the garden, in their own home. I'll do a bungee jump if you came to it. I haven't done a skydive yet, but I'd give anything a go. I think the thing to consider about when you are planning your wedding is to remember, though, the elements. You know, you might be on the beach, waves coming in, very loud, wind. I have a microphone, amplifier, bring along. But just to be in the back of your mind when you're planning the wedding, it's very important to remember what the time of year is going to be. If you're going to have good weather, bad weather, have a plan A, have a plan B. And those are the kind of things we can talk through.
And children, how do you incorporate children in your service?
I think if it's a second marriage, I think or if you've got children from a previous marriage or relationship, I think it's really important to incorporate those into the service. I think some of your teenagers may be a little bit resistant, but me personally, I like to, when at my wedding as an example, my husband actually wrote some of his vows to our extended family, and by that way empowering them, making them feel like they are part of the service, and I think that's really important.
And what time of year do you think is the best to get married?
I think everyone's got their favourite time. I think a bride's going to look beautiful any time of year. You've got your spring weddings where you've got all the beautiful new growth, you've got your spring flowers. The summer can be very hot, and you do have to remember that it is quite, on certain days you can get a bit of a sweat going and a bit of a natural glow. So you have to work it out to what's going to suit you. I mean, I quite like autumn weathers. You've got those beautiful coppery colours, especially around sort of that harvesting time, where I've seen people with their bridesmaid have wheat and beautiful sheaths with leaves and copper colours. And in winter, again, Christmas baubles. I had a lady that had a beautiful white sort of cape with sort of fur around here that gave that feeling of, especially we're in an area somewhere like Topol, which is very cold, and you've got the mountains in the background with the snow. It really does.
So it just depends on.
It really does depend on the person. Absolutely.
And so, what actually qualifies you to marry people?
Very, very good question. I got into it because I think it needed passion into the event. And when I looked into it, it's a specialised person that can get into the marriage celebrant business. I've got a background, I guess, in adult education. I'm talking to adults all day and every day. I've also done social work training, or counselling, I should say, skills training. I'm actually doing a master's at the moment in coaching and mentoring and leadership skills, which I guess qualifies me to be, I think it's a bit of a buzzword at the moment, a life coach. And I think also working in tourism, as working in the airline industry and travel industry for 25 years, I am meeting people from all walks of life, talking to people daily.
So you have a lot to do with people?
All the time. Yeah.
And very passionate about it?
Very, very passionate about it.
So is there anything else you'd like to mention that's particularly special about your services?
Only that you get your DVD at the end. Now that's just special because, as you know and I know, you have your wedding day, and on that particular day it's all very exciting and it's full of energy, and it's not till afterwards you sit down and you reflect and you really can't recall the service, who was sitting where. I spend a lot of time actually with the audience before the bride gets there, talking to them. The bride arrives, I'm taking photographs all the time. The bride arrives, I feel it's my role also to be very invitational to the audience, bring them into the ceremony rather than having that big pit between the bride and groom and the congregation. So it is very important to me to bring people together. We have the ceremony, photographs are taken, and I put the images onto the DVD, and I can give that to the bride and groom very shortly, not very long afterwards.
So
and
within the same week?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Within the same week, definitely, because that's the time when it's in your mind and you want to watch it. And I think that's sort of a gift that's over and above everything else, really. And I think it's those little special things that make a difference.
So it's a complete service that you provide?
Absolutely.